On this episode of Behind the Bard.
Once you are up there with the audience in front of you, like the whole environment is just, the atmosphere is like pretty special.
Yeah.
It really feels magical. It's like stuck in my head every day after rehearsal.
It feels magical singing it in the park, just like looking at all the trees around me.
So how is it playing the villain? You're usually playing nice guys.
Yeah. I think Oliver is a nice guy trapped in a villain's body.
But this is my first time with Shakespeare Royal Oak in this park, Starr Jaycee Park. And it's just been so much fun. The scale of this is something I did not expect, seriously.
It's not just love between the couples, right?
Yeah.
We have 4 weddings, so there's a lot of love between couples. There is a feeling of this group of foresters that, what they represent, the kind of love and community they represent, kind of winning the day.
The neat part of once you step foot in the Forest of Arden, no one is the same.
Everyone changes.
Yeah.
The forest changes people for the better.
Hey there, welcome to Behind the Bard, or as I like to call it, the Bardcast. But seriously, we explore Shakespeare here at Behind the Bard through conversations that we have with our artists and our professionals that put Shakespeare Royal Oak together from behind the scenes, and our artists, of course, on scene, on stage, and our designers that work behind the scenes as well, bringing you the vision that we put together every summer right here in Starr Jaycee Park. You might be able to hear some of the background noise because we're actually here in the park recording this episode of the podcast. We're on YouTube, we're on Apple, whatever it's called. What's it called? Apple Podcasts? You don't watch that?
I'm Gen
Jared Clark, who puts this thing together, he knows all this stuff. He wrote me some notes here. And we're on Spotify at Behind the Bard. So don't look up Bardcast, okay? It's not an actual name. And you can stay up to date with us. We have regular updates on Facebook, Instagram, and we're on TikTok now, too. Did you know that?
No, I'm old.
I had to actually download TikTok just to see myself on TikTok the other day. So wherever you're watching or listening from, we want to thank you for supporting what is really an exceptional outdoor professional theater. So thanks for joining us. I'm Ed Nahat. I'm the founder of Waterworks Theater Company, which produces Shakespeare Royal Oak, and I'm honored to be sitting next to my partner in crime right here, Sarah Wolf. Sarah is our artistic director, and she's been our artistic director, believe it or not, since 2012. So coming up, we're going to see, we've had conversations already with actors in this show. Mm-hmm. Sarah's in the show, by the way. She does an amazing job. And we've got Rob Arbaugh, and he plays Oliver. And Oliver, by the way, I played Oliver when I used to be an actor.
Did you really?
I did. and it was at Wayne State in undergrad, and so Oliver's the evil brother. And Rob Arbaugh plays Oliver in this show, and he's doing much better than I did. And he talks to you and us about how he finds humanity in a character that Shakespeare writes as being bad. And it's really an interesting take on how to do that. And then we have J.M. Ethridge, who's been in many of our shows. Super funny, super deep character. I mean, her character. And she plays the character Ida. Is that how you pronounce it?
Ada. But originally Adam. We have some gender swaps that we're using in the play, which is great because it gives the play a whole new lens, a whole new perspective.
Well, speaking of, you play a character who's traditionally played as a male character, but the way our director, Kelli Rademacher, and you create this character, it's really exceptional. The character's name is Jaycee, right?
Jaycee, yeah.
And you have that the world's most famous speech of Shakespeare.
It's pretty famous.
Yeah.
It's a heavy thing, but it's awfully fun.
For those of you who are going to come or are going to miss it because you didn't come, it's the All the World's a Stage speech,
All the
right?
World's a Stage.
Yeah. It's my favorite part of the show when you do that because you engage the rest of the cast in the speech. I've never seen it done that way before.
Well, Tony Schmidt, who was a longtime friend of Shakespeare Royal Oak, and a mentor and a former professor of mine at Wayne State, and yours. He always told me don't say anything unless you have a reason to say it. So you have to make it active. You have to have an objective. You have to want something.
We're also going to hear from the guy who plays both Dukes, our friend
Brian Ogden.
Brian Ogden. What an amazing actor. He's been in so many of our shows.
I've had the good fortune of working with him in several different pairings. We've been Laertes Ophelia. We've been
Right.
Beatrice Benedict. We've been Lady Anne Richards.
Yes.
And now we've got the Duke and Jaycees. Am I even missing something? I might be.
You directed him.
Oh, I directed him in the
Yes.
Scottish play back in 2009.
Yeah, but weren't you in Richard with him too?
Yes, that was Lady Anne and
okay.
Richard III.
Oh my gosh.
I know. And I directed him in Henry V as well.
So-
and we've done fundraising scenes
we did
and monologues
shows
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, really, I just have an enormous amount of comfort in
Yeah.
being able to, working with most of these people, but it's nice to kind of have a partner in crime, to kind of have a Spencer Tracy to my
right.
Kate Hepburn,
Yeah, right.
you know?
Well, he's going to be talking in one of these segments about not only playing multiple roles, but playing two very opposite people in the same show. So he plays really the good guy and the bad guy in the same show, and so he has to go off stage, change his costume, walk out on stage and be the bad guy, and then go off stage, change his costume, walk out on stage and be the good guy. And you know it's the same man playing the role, but watching him, you don't, I don't know, I watch him and I immediately think he's a different character.
Yeah, he's incredibly believable. It's probably the hardest track in the whole show because these changes between these two different people, these two kind of bookends to each other, it's just so fast.
And he doesn't overdo
great.
it.
No.
I don't know how he does it.
He's just competent. He's a great actor.
You'll hear him talk about that in one of these separate segments that we're sort of introducing and sort of, butchering at the same time. But we're also going to talk to Grace Lawrence, who plays the lead in this play. As You Like It, she plays Rosalind. And what an exceptional find she's been.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
Yeah.
She's always been brilliant. She's a former student of mine at Oakland University.
Oh, that's why she's brilliant. Okay.
Well, no, she's brilliant because she's good. But yeah, I have the good fortune to have a few former students that are cast in this play.
Rosalind has to dress up like a boy because she's been banished to the woods, and she would be at risk in the woods if she was a female. So she finds her true love, Orlando, and has to pretend that she's a boy, and he's still in love with Rosalind, and it's so funny.
It's really funny.
But she does a great job of balancing both characters. There's a lot of that in this play.
Those breeches roles, they're really fun.
What
for
kind
an
of
actor.
roles?
The breeches roles, when the women are dressing up as men. They're great roles, and Grace is absolutely nailing it.
Yeah. Well, we're happy to have her.
It's a marathon for Rosalind. Is the largest female role in all of Shakespeare.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I thought you would think I would know that, but that's why I have Sarah around. So along the way, we're also going to hear about something really unique that we have in this production that our director really insisted on when she came to us with the concept. And the concept is the play, As You Like It, is taking place in a pre-Civil War era in the frontier town of Detroit, so the 1830s, and everything is costumed correctly, and the era is presented right, and she's also got somebody really talented in the cast who has composed original music using Shakespeare's words or some songs that are appropriate for the time. And so Cayla Stus is our not only acting in the play and performing her own songs, but she's our music director.
Well, I tell you, Cayla is another former student of mine. I did not have anything to do with teaching her music.
Yeah.
But she's absolutely brilliant. And she's made these original and beautiful. And it's a daunting task because this is one of Shakespeare's plays that has the most music written into it.
Oh.
And
right.
so she had her work cut out, and then she had to teach us how to sing it, and teach us how to sing in like 4-part harmonies.
All in like 3 weeks.
In 3 weeks. But
So
because she's good, she managed to do that.
Hi, I'm Kelli Rademacher, and this is Behind the Bard. And on this episode, we're talking with Cayla, who is my musical director and composer for this season's production of As You Like It. I'm the director for the production, and we just opened last night. We had a great opening. So we're really excited to kind of explore and share what the process was like for really creating the music and how that related to the whole show, the show as a whole, how it really brought the show to life. There's more songs in As You Like It than I think any other Shakespeare play. So we had a lot of work to do and a lot of fun to be had. So maybe we could start by, if you want to just talk about as you kind of got into the play and how the songs hit you as like part of the story.
Yeah. Ironically, I actually had sang a couple different versions of Blow, Blow, Thou Winter Wind and Lovers Love the Spring before. So it was very interesting. I was like, oh, I already know these songs, but how do we, take this music and put it into a style that's unique to our production and unique to our purposes? And that was a really fun challenge for sure.
Well, with Shakespeare, I feel like the music, it's not like a musical as we know them today, right? So for like Shakespeare plays, the music at first I maybe thought was kind of just like an interlude or just like something fun, but I think they really serve two purposes. One is they explore the themes of the story of As You Like It, themes of love, of time and life being fleeting, and there's kind of a bittersweetness to a lot of the songs. There's also city life versus country life, and the foresters drawing you into this different way of life, their way of life in harmony with nature. There's a song about cuckoldry and like making fun of foolish men who are cheated on by their wives. And so there's like a silliness and a seriousness, and a lot of the kind of bittersweet feeling of the play was really infused into the songs, but in like a higher than life way. So I'm kind of curious about how, when you went to compose the music, how those things came into play. When I went to compose each individual song, the first thing that I did was sit down, look at the scene, look at the context. Okay, what is happening before and after the song? Is the song starting the scene? Is the song ending the scene? The lusty horn, is that the scene itself? And really taking the context, that gave me a sense for what the feel would be like, as well as the text of the song itself. Like, I could already tell with the verse for Lusty Horn that was going to have more of a clip, like, the horn, the lusty horn. It sounded like it would live as a jig. And, like, an up-tempo dance feel, where Under the Greenwood Tree kind of felt soft and, not too slow that it didn't move, but peaceful. Peaceful with a little bit of a pulse to it. It's so alluring. It really feels magical. It's like stuck in my head every day after rehearsal. It feels magical singing it in the park, just like looking at all the trees around me. It really feels like we live in that scene, in that moment. I mean, anytime I'm on stage with the Foresters, it feels that way, but in that song especially, since that's what the whole context of it is. And we're really introducing the world of the Foresters in Under the Greenwood Tree, even though we've already seen them before. This is where we really get to see them live. The Foresters, if you haven't seen the play or you're not familiar with it, they're referred to in the play as the Merry Misfits, like Robin Hood's Merry Misfits, right? And I think the music pretty much as a whole comes from them and from Amiens, which is the character that Cayla plays. The Foresters, their music, I think, brings to life the energy of the show so much. I almost feel like a one-person Greek chorus sometimes. Having this internal knowledge that, I know something the audience doesn't, and I know what's about to happen, and I'm going to kind of propel the story along, but at the same time keeping that, suspense, and I'm also living through it myself. It's kind of an interesting concept in my head as an actor, and I love that. What are your thoughts about, can you tell us about Amiens and like who they are and what their experience is of the Forester's life?
I think ambiance has a lot of duality throughout the show, and we really see that, especially going into later the Lusty Horn, where Jaycee comes in, and obviously I feel for her, but we also, like, we need to eat, and we have a special song just for, you know, these special occasions like this where we get to have a great dinner and we get to celebrate.
Yeah, I thought about that a lot too, how that song comes after this really famous speech of all the world's a stage.
Yeah.
And takes those existential themes of how it feels to be alive, and both the fleetingness of it, the often like disappointment even, you know. Is it friendship? Life is fleeting. What? Remind me the lyrics.
Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere holly.
Yeah.
Mere folly, then hey ho the holly. This life is most jolly.
Yeah.
So many rhymes.
I think that's like all the duality of the play kind of summed up right there. It's a play of so many dualities, and I think that in the end are transcended, where we kind of get beyond those dualities through love.
Yeah.
And
community.
Yeah, and community. Yeah, it's not just love between the couples, right? We have 4 weddings, so there's a lot of love between couples, but there is a feeling of this group of foresters that, you know, what they represent, the kind of love and community they represent, kind of winning the day.
Freeze, thou bitter sky, that dost not bite so nigh as benefits forgot. Though thou the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp as friend remembered not.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in for Behind the Bard. I'm Brian Ogden. I'm sitting here with Grace Lawrence. I play the Dukes in As You Like It. Grace plays Rosalind, the lead. And this is, Grace, your first year doing Shakespeare in the Park.
Yes.
And inquiring minds would like to know, how are you finding it?
It has been so much fun. I actually did... last summer, I was involved with Wishing Well over in Fenton, our friends at Wishing Well. We have some members in the cast who are working with them in the future, have worked with them in the past.
Oh, nice.
So I did Shakespeare in the Park last summer, but this is my first time with Shakespeare Royal Oak in this park, Starr Jaycee Park. And it's just been so much fun. The scale of this is something I did not expect, seriously.
Oh.
It just like seeing all the tents and the audience member. I was shocked. But you are a veteran of doing this in this park, right?
I am.
How long have you been doing shows here?
So my first show, I think, was in 2008. Whatever year they did Romeo and Juliet, I played Mercutio. I had just finished grad school, right?
Wow.
I was a young man. I was like, 26 or something like that.
I was in first grade.
Yeah. Thanks for Thank you. I really wasn't going to be able to continue until I knew how old you were.
Well, we were talking about school, so I wanted to share. Sorry.
Yeah. And I've been very fortunate to do a lot of cool. I've done Romeo and Juliet twice in this park,
I was going to say you were Capulet, right?
Yeah, Lord Capulet.
Yeah.
So,
and my friend Olivia was your Juliet.
Oh, that's right.
Olivia Kiefer.
Oh,
yeah.
my God. Oh, she's beautiful. She did such a great job.
Yes.
It was a great show.
I know.
Yeah, it's been... I love it. I think it's magical. To be fair, I've never done outdoor Shakespeare at this scale anyway, like anywhere else.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I don't... that's my basis for comparison, I suppose. Before we did the show last night, Kelli said, we found ourselves sitting next to each other after she had sort of spoken to us beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, "Oh man, I just remembered the thing that I meant to say to the cast." And I was like, "Okay, well, what's up?" She was like, I meant to tell them, do this with the audience. Don't do it for the audience. Don't do it to the audience.
Yeah.
Do it with them."
Yeah.
And I think that's intuitive to the experience in our group anyway,
For
right?
sure.
Like what is so beautiful and intoxicating about doing it, because also it can be a real pain in the butt, right? How much time this year, we lost rehearsal time to air quality.
Yes.
We lost it to rain. I don't think I have been a part of a production in the park that has been as behind, like when we came up to opening, as this production was. We had a lot of ground to make up. And even with all of that, once you are up there with the audience in front of you, with like ice cream and beer and what, like the whole environment is just, the atmosphere, I think is the word I was looking for, is like pretty special.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so interesting when people talk about stage fright. That's another one I feel like that like actors get asked a lot, is like, how do you get over stage fright? And it's like, I feel it before I go on. It goes away the second I get up there, because I'm like, okay, I'm here now. And like, it's not scary when the eyes are on you when you're on the stage. It feels more like comforting, what you were saying, like we're all here together, and I'm doing this for you, you're giving this to me, we're making something together, and just doing it outside and like having the nature surrounding you also be a part of that. It's like, not to be woo woo, but it is sort of like,
yeah,
maybe this is how it was meant to be all along.
There's something about it that does feel primal.
Yes,
you know?
yeah. Every time I've done theater outside, I'm just like, I feel that like, this is what they were doing 5,000 years ago outside of the caves, you know, and
communing
like
with the ancestors.
Yes, dancing around the fire and the wind coming. Yeah, I'm just like, yes.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know. I always feel very grounded whenever I'm outside, and also when it's not windy or rainy or things messing with you.
Yeah. There's a lot of factors that can go into it, but talking about like sort of the experience, stage fright, and the experience with the audience as well. In most cases, like this is not insightful or controversial to say, I don't think, but I kind of think about, man, I'm just blocking them out, right? I got too much to worry about. I'm on my partner. I'm on my personal character arc, or just like physical score, whatever it might be. This is the one exception where I feel like it's like, oh yeah, no, I really want to acknowledge and include you in this experience, because if I don't, then it starts to feel strangely hollow.
True. Reminded me, I'm so sorry to interrupt.
Please,
it just reminded me of last night, and I don't know if I said this to you. I said it to someone else. After the wrestling fight, when Charles got beaten and you went, you can clap to the audience, I was like, that is the best thing I've ever heard in my life.
Some of it, they clearly wanted to. Do you know what I mean? And it was like, yes, you can.
Gotta have the permission.
It's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
We're all here together. It's
not. It was great. It was. I was standing there in that moment, and I was like, just awesome.
Oh,
so
well, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
I love it when people break the fourth wall. It's like one of my favorite things. Yeah, so it's so fun.
I mean, people just, it's so easy to take it too seriously. You know,
especially with Shakespeare.
Yes,
it's Shakespeare.
Yes, and it's deserving of respect, certainly. Like you've worked so hard.
Yes,
as I think we all have, to get it here. But it also starts to feel like, man, we have worked so hard. If we don't enjoy this, actively enjoy this with the people who have come to see it,
for sure,
then like, what are we doing?
Exactly.
You know?
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Bard.
You're watching Behind the Bard.
This is Behind the Bard.
Thanks for tuning in for Behind the Bard.
Welcome to Behind the Bard.
This is Behind the Bard.
Thanks for tuning in to Behind the Bard, your home for conversations about Shakespeare theater and the people behind the production.
This show is made possible by Shakespeare Royal Oak, a professional outdoor theater company in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Each summer, we bring Shakespeare plays
stories to life with a talented group of local professional artists, performers, and creatives from across the community.
To learn more about the shows, the artists, and how to get involved, visit ShakespeareRoyalOak.com.
What shall we have that killed the deer?
What shall we have that killed the deer?
His leather skin and horns to wear.
His leather skin and horns to wear.
Then sing him home. Woo! The rest shall bear this burden. 1, 2, 3, 4. Take
Now no scorn to wear the horn. It was a crest ere thou wast born. Thy father's father wore it.
Hi, I'm J.M. Ethridge, and I play Ada, and a Forester, and Jacqueline Du Bois in As You Like It. And I'm here with Rob Arbaugh, who plays Oliver and a Forester. Hi, Rob.
Hi, JM. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Great. So I want to ask you about playing 3 characters. Okay. What is it like? How is it to walk us through that each night as you're jumping from character to character?
It's actually a lot easier than people think, because Ada is an old woman. Don't have to do a lot of acting with that. The Forester is energetic and sings. Don't have to do a lot of acting with that. The only challenge is Jacqueline Du Bois, who's supposed to be probably in her 20s, and I'm very definitely not in her 20s. But with the costume that I get to wear, it's beautiful, and I feel so pretty when I wear it, that doing the changes isn't that difficult. You know, I'd have a servant costume for Ada, and I have a kind of a raggedy, primitive costume for Forester, and I have this beautiful costume for Jacqueline. So it hasn't been as difficult as I'd feared.
Yeah. It's quite amazing how a costume can change everything about what you're doing.
It really can. Like you with your ruffles.
Yes.
And
as soon as I had my ruffles, like everything came together.
So how is it playing the villain? You're usually playing nice guys.
Yeah. I think Oliver is a nice guy trapped in a villain's body.
How so?
And so I think it's circumstances, the psychological circumstances and the pressure of being the firstborn is something that I think about a lot. And so I guess anytime you're playing a villain, you don't want to play it one-dimensional. You have to figure out why psychologically you are you do the things you do. Why do I hate my brother so much? And
he never says why he hates.
No, he actually says I don't know why.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the biggest clue is that here I am trying to figure it out myself. Why do I hate my brother? Right. And Shakespeare doesn't lie to us. So exactly what I say is what I mean. And so that's where the actor question comes in. What is the reason for that? And I think it's the pressures of being the firstborn, having to keep the name going. And from the day I could recognize it, it was pressure, right? And I've never lived out of that pressure. And I think maybe I'm mad at Orlando because he didn't have any of that pressure. He didn't have to deal with any of that, right?
He doesn't have to bear that burden of making the decisions.
Right. And so I think I'm longing to be him in his freedom.
So Oliver has to adult.
Yes.
And Orlando does not.
Exactly. Yeah.
That can be a real challenge, being the grown up in the situation. And you're looking around, where are the other grown ups? Oh, it's only me.
Right. Right. Well, and then the villainy comes in is I take it a little too far. It's not like I kind of don't like my brother. It's I'm going to kill my brother to get him out of my way. That's probably not the best way to go about it.
It's probably not the nicest way to go about it. It is very tidy.
Yeah.
To have it in the wrestling match.
Yeah.
To have someone else be responsible, and then Oliver's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That happened.
So how does Ada feel about this brother rivalry?
Well, she's known the brothers since they were born. She raised them, is the way that I'm taking it. Adam is how it's written. It's written as an old man, but changing it to Ada and making it a woman has made me able to bring in this like maternal side that I often feel personally as JM, feeling very motherly to everybody, especially now that I'm getting older. I call kids baby a lot, and I'm always like making sure everybody's okay. And I think Ada is that same way. She's raised these kids basically, and so to see them fighting at the beginning And she starts yelling. She doesn't even look at them. She just turns her back and screams, hoping that they're going to stop fighting. They don't. But she's got that mom side of her.
Yeah.
And to see her kids fighting, it's almost physically painful for her as well.
Sure. And I think it hits harder having a female Ada instead of Adam. And I think the line I throw at you, the not so nice one, there is an immediate pullback as an actor, because I'm like, oh, I did just say that to mom, you know?
Yeah.
To
you just basically called your mom a bitch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's tough.
Yeah. The first time you swear in front of your parent is always hard, but always, then the first time you say something like that to your parent. Mm-hmm. And there's a small, tiny part of Ada that probably in other circumstances would have gone up there and smacked him across the head.
Yeah.
Like, how dare you? But instead she walks away.
Yeah.
And is like, okay, fine. This is the way you're going to be. Your dad would never have said that.
Yes.
And that's that bite at the end. And she's like, he would never have talked to me that way. You jerk.
Yeah. Well, and talk about like hitting me hard with that, like the stabbing of like, you're not as good as your dad, right? And so it bites right into that villainy of like, just like everybody is just trying to make their way through the world.
Yeah, but Oliver does it in such an underhanded way.
Yes.
It's deceitful.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't say that he doesn't like Orlando to Orlando's face. He says it while he's alone on stage.
Yep. No one else there.
Nobody else hears that. And it's like he's admitting it to himself. I don't know why I hate my brother so much,
right?
But I do.
Yeah, and he's nice, and everybody likes him, and I'm telling everybody in that moment, it's because everybody likes him, the world loves him, and no one likes me.
And that's Ada says that to Orlando as well.
Yeah.
Why are you virtuous? Why do people love you?
Yeah.
And she's like, that's going to be your downfall.
Mm-hmm.
Because you are so nice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this juxtaposition of this evil, evil brother and this nice, nice, sweet brother that's so interesting.
Right. And I mean, we see that with the Dukes as well, right? You've got Duke Frederick, not so nice, kicks his brother out of court. And then you've got Senior hanging out in the forest with all his friends.
But at the end, then both of them have that redemption.
Yes.
Where all of a sudden now Oliver is nice. And Duke Frederick has found religion and is nice like that.
Yeah.
And what?
Yeah. There's like there's a magic, this is a rom-com, a fairy tale.
Very much so.
But that fairy tale part, that like once you get out into this magical forest, like things happen, and I think that's the neat part of once you step foot in the Forest of Arden, no one is the same. Everyone is different.
Everyone changes.
Yeah.
The forest changes people for the better.
Yeah.
And that's that whole nature making people kinder and more gentle and slow down. And that's part of what's so great about doing this play in this setting.
Yes.
Of outdoors.
Yes.
We're asking the audience to come in from whatever they've been doing that day. Maybe they were working, maybe they were shopping or hanging out with family. But take 3 hours out of your life to come into a park setting, sit down, be transformed, and you'll leave completely different.
Yeah.
And it's just lovely to have that. This play in particular done outside.
Yeah. I mean, you got these beautiful trees, and I think last night I was sitting there and it was just magical. The lights are happening through the leaves, and I'm just like, this is amazing.
We had the deer.
And we had the deer. Yes.
We had magical deer coming to visit us last night. That was just serendipity to see these 3 deer just walking through the park, and it's seeing how deer is such a big part of this play. They're always talking about killing venison. We have the song about who killed the deer. And it's that whole, do we disturb nature?
Yeah.
Or do we let it be? But then all of a sudden the deer were there, and I was like, oh my gosh, it was just, you can't write stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Shakespeare. You can't write that kind of stuff. But that was gorgeous. And to see how people do get changed.
Yeah.
Not only as part of the play, but as people who watch it.
Sure.
You're not the same person after seeing this story being done in front of you.
Yeah, and you were just talking about the transformation. I go through a pretty epic transformation.
It's a complete flip-flop.
Total flip-flop. And I think, people might think it's super difficult to do something like that, to be the believable villain in the beginning who wants to kill his brother, and then the believable secondary lover at the end, and who's in love with my brother. And the truth is, it's magic, right? There's a change there.
And what brings that change?
A couple things. One, there's the magic of the Forest of Arden, of course. Right. But the change of being out in the forest and not having the responsibility and having a different choice. I think it's the first time in Oliver's entire existence where there is another version of himself that is presented, right? And I go through like a little bit of a rebirth in the scene that I describe of Orlando saving me, and this idea of he had every opportunity to let me die, and twice, and he should have, because I was so bad. Right. And so I talk about that line of like, I hate my brother and I don't know why. The other line that is really telling to me is when I say, I know I was really bad, but I'm not going to stray away from that because my change is so great now. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important for Oliver to say that because I don't want to go back to that. Now that I know this light place, this is who I want to be. Right. What magic things happen? I have a great relationship with my brother, and then may or may not fall in love.
I mean, that's where I was going with that, I was hoping it was love that transforms Oliver. But it is love. It's love of nature. It's love of Celia. It's love of Orlando. It's love of this new love of life that he gets when he's not murdered by, or not, I shouldn't say murdered. Do animals murder? But, killed by things in the forest. Mm-hmm. And he realizes, oh my gosh. So he's got this new kind of love. Yeah,
it's giving up the court, the human structure for the natural order of things.
Had he not, because why does he go to the forest?
Well, the Duke makes me to go get Orlando.
Would he have stayed there?
Stayed in court?
No, in the forest.
I think he does.
You think he would stay in the forest? I'm saying like even if he didn't meet someone or have those experiences, would he have stayed in the forest or would he have eventually tried to go back to court?
Oh, that's a great question. It's a great question. And twofold, I'll say that I think it's fate that I was meant to meet my love. There's bells and birds singing in that scene. And no, I don't think I'd go back. I don't think I want to go back. I don't want to go back to that pressure.
Yeah, being outside is liberating. There's a reason people like to camp.
Yeah.
Not me. But there's a reason. Being out in the woods and just doing whatever you want to do and staring at a fire for an hour and a half and talking about deep thoughts and just being outside and getting back to that primitive part of us is very important.
Welcome back. We are continuing our conversation about the music of As You Like It. I'm here with Kelli Rademacher, the director of As You Like It, and my name is Cayla Stus. I'm the music director. So let's talk a little bit about the historical context that you chose for this production, setting the show in 1830s in Detroit. Can you talk a little bit about finding that setting and why it's so significant?
Sure. So I kind of started from just, could I set it in Detroit? Because it just seemed like a fun thing to do, kind of right where we are. And I love Detroit. I just moved back in 2021, at the end of 2021. Wow. And so I kind of stumbled upon this time period in the early 19th century of the 1830s where it's kind of not yet a state, not yet a full-blown industrial town, but like a frontier city where you still have the influence of the fur trade and the French and the Native Americans. And you had the first wave of immigrants coming from like Ireland and Germany and different places in Europe. And you had the first kind of anti-slavery rebellions or actions that eventually led to the Underground Railroad. That was people who were part of the Underground Railroad here in the Detroit area.
Yeah.
So all of those elements just really, I felt like fit with this time of transition that As You Like It takes place in, of kind of shifting world paradigms. Is it the world of the new Duke, Duke Frederick, who is the usurping Duke that takes power from his brother, or is it the world of the old Duke who is living like they did in the Golden Age in the forest, as Charles says, and having this different way of life in relationship to nature. And so I thought that kind of transition moment of the city, it fits so well with it. And then there turned out to just be so many ways that was the case, right down to like the French influence in the play. Like a lot of the characters are French. So that was really fun. And then in terms of the music then, so I started first kind of looking at what was the music at that time period in Detroit, in Michigan, on the frontier, like the American culture at the time. It's like relatively new nation, right? That's still kind of defining itself in a lot of ways.
And obviously Motown didn't exist yet.
Right. Yeah. This is before Motown. This is before the auto industry, and but very much like the Detroit as this place of like grit and ingenuity, I think was in development. So a lot of it is influenced by like the folk music of the European cultures, like the Irish and German and others coming over. And then a lot of influence of like the slaves and African Americans at the time, and the music that they sang. And then a lot that you wouldn't want to share or repeat from like the minstrelsy of the time. Those were kind of the main elements as I started to research as far as like what was defining the culture. It's like She'll Be Coming Around the Mountain, which we use in the prologue, that has kind of an interesting history and is a song that everyone knows from that time. We all like sing it in school. And then you kind of took it and made it a fun way in the prologue to kind of warm people up for what's the time period we're in. And I kind of took all that and then like how I wanted the songs to feel for the story. And we talked a lot about that, and then I kind of handed over to you with your expertise. So how did you take that into the music?
Yeah, I mean, after our initial conversation, we had maybe an hour and a half long phone call just talking about every single song and every single scene. Once that was kind of handed off to me, there was a lot of creative liberty to kind of look at the style at hand, which was, in a word, folk music, and also incorporate some elements of magic and some mystical features, because we are in a forest setting and it's not entirely,
and Rosalind calls herself a magician.
Yeah, exactly. Whether that's true or not,
right,
who's to say? Or maybe Amiens is the magician all along.
It definitely feels magical.
It does. It really does. And I think the music really brings out that kind of magical feeling, and that's really something that I wanted for the ambiance of the music. No pun intended, because ambiance sounds so similar to ambiance, which almost feels intentional.
Yeah.
It almost feels intentional.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's how Shakespeare wanted it to go. So once Kelli and I had our initial conversations, I took the music and just started writing down ideas, taking voice notes, and putting things together. I think I had a session where most of the music was written within an hour.
Yeah.
Where I just kind of sat down and I had ideas, and one after the other. I think I started with Greenwood Tree, and then I moved to Winter Winds, and then I moved to Lusty Horn. I was like, oh, this is going pretty quickly. And then I had another, session with myself where I would just refine and make everything tightened a little bit. But the actual process of writing the music was fairly fast.
Yeah.
I think I'm so used to writing music at this point because I've been writing since I was 9 years old. But there was real challenge of creating this melody to text that already exists, because
Right.
you want it to sound clean and natural. You don't want phrases to sound janky. You want it to sound like this is how somebody would actually say this or sing this.
Can you describe maybe like Lusty Horn as an example,
Yeah.
or like how does if you're taking like the folk style
Yeah.
from that time period, how does that come into play in the actual music itself when you're creating it versus like a different style that you might use?
Yeah, I mean, I don't usually write in that style at all.
Yeah.
I grew up writing pop music and transitioned into more jazz and R&B and pop combined a little bit. So folk is definitely not something I typically dip my toe into, but I've had some past experience, so I kind of had to go based on my past experience and also like listening to audio examples that both you gave me and that I found on my own of what did folk music really sound like at this time. And then once I had that element, I was also able to incorporate some of my own tendencies and my own little writing quirks into the songs as well. And, you know, Lusty Horn, for that song, I just started with with the chord progression. I found the chord progression, and then the melody kind of came, having this light and jaunty, like, what shall he have that killed the deer? His leather skin and horns to wear.
Yeah.
And then came the idea to make it a call and response with the foresters and the other foresters.
Yeah.
Having Malin do the call, and then the other foresters do the response. Which
it really is like so much a song that you want to move to. Like
It
you hear the
is.
chords and it's just like calling you to dance. It's so fun.
And it's nothing fancy.
Yeah.
It's the same 3 chords repeating, and then the refrain is just 2 chords that repeat themselves. It's nothing extravagant, but it's the way that it's performed and presented that makes it a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Which is part of the magic of bringing music to life in a show like this.
Right.
And kind of recreating music that already exists. I tried to avoid listening to other versions of the songs, actually.
Yeah.
So that I could really be like, okay, what is Cayla's interpretation of this? How would I do this? And then how would it sound in this time period?
Yeah, that's great.
Wedding is great Juno's crown, O blessed bond of board and bed. 'Tis Hymen peoples every town.
Wow, wasn't that great?
Yeah, it's a lot to be proud of.
Yeah, well, we're proud of it, and we hope that you can share it, come see it in person, and if you miss it before August 3rd, make sure you bookmark it for next year.
If you enjoyed these conversations, there's much more waiting in store. Behind the Bard is your place to explore the stories behind Shakespeare Royal Oak. From conversations with actors, directors, designers, composers, to performances, rehearsals, and a closer look at the creative process that happens long before the curtain rises. There's much more to the story of Shakespeare Royal Oak than what happens on stage. In future episodes of Behind the Bard, we'll explore what makes outdoor theater so unpredictable and sometimes unforgettable. We'll look at how Shakespeare Royal Oak has grown over more than 25 years, how its education programs introduce new generations to performance, and what it takes to sustain a professional theater through grants, donations, volunteers, and the support of a community. You can watch Behind the Bard on YouTube, and find more conversations, performances, and behind-the-scenes stories on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Full podcast episodes are available on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Just search at Behind the Bard. I'm Jared Clark, producer of Behind the Bard. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the park.
Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Behind the Bard.
You're watching Behind the Bard.
This is Behind the Bard.
Thanks for tuning in for Behind the Bard.
Welcome to Behind the Bard.
This is Behind the Bard.
Thanks for tuning in to Behind the Bard, your home for conversations about Shakespeare theater and the people behind the production.
This show is made possible by Shakespeare Royal Oak, a professional outdoor theater company in Royal Oak, Michigan.
Each summer, we bring Shakespeare plays to life with a talented group of local professional artists, performers, and creatives from across the community.
To learn more about the shows, the artists, and how to get involved, visit ShakespeareRoyalOak.com.